Hello again, YouTube. I'm back again this week with another profile. And off the heels of Zane's Cyber Dragons, we've got another antagonist deck today. As you can see, it's Galaxy Photon on the playmat. Galaxies were used by Kite in the Zexal anime and are known for big dragons and board building. So let's grant this profile permission to lift off and see if Galaxy can reach the stars. So first up, the monsters, and I think in two distinct rarities we've got 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, the main event. So this guy is your engine piece. He fits into a load of the other cards, so he's crucial. You know, he's kind of like a Blue Eyes in a Blue Eyes deck. As much as he doesn't really do that much by himself, he's crucial to most of the plays that you'll be making. Having said that, Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon has got a much easier summon requirement than the good old Blue Eyes Dragon has, so he can special summon himself by tributing 2 monsters with 2000 attack, and that's a special summon, which means that it doesn't eat your normal summon. You don't have to tribute this guy. He can also banish himself and a battling monster, and he will gain 500 attack if that banished monster loses XYZ material. I think he gains 500 for each, which basically never comes up. Even his special summon rarely comes up, if I've got to be honest. From there, we've got 3 Galaxy Soldier. In fact, we saw this in the Cyber Dragon profile, as stated before. Obviously, because he's a machine. But Galaxy Soldier's great. Discard him, add another Galaxy card, and then you can special summon him again. He just works really well. And obviously, we're running kind of like the Cyber Dragon bits that can go tandem with him in the extra deck. From there, we're running probably the most expensive cards in this deck now, just because it was released in a silly set. Photon Orbital, so it's a monster that can be equipped to a Galaxy or a Photon card. It gives them 500 attack and can't be destroyed by battle. And then you can send that equipped card to the graveyard to add any Galaxy or Photon monster, which is really useful. So I mean, he's just a really good search card and goes really well with sculpting your hand into what you need. From there, we're running 3 Photon Vanisher. So Photon Vanisher can't be normal summoned or set, but it can be special summoned if you control a Photon or Galaxy. I think it's, yeah, Photon or Galaxy card. Some of them are Photon, some of them are Galaxy. There's a bit of a weird mismatch. But basically, when you special summon, you can add a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck to your hand. And then he's also got an effect which barely ever comes up, where if he's used for the XYZ summon of an XYZ material, that monster gains the effect where if it destroys a monster by battle, it gets banished instead. From there, that's our 3 elves, and there we're in a bunch of 2 elves, which I get isn't really optimal deck building, maybe if what you call it, but a load of these cards are so searchable. It's not real. There's no real reason to run more than 2. So I run Galaxy Knight. You can normal summon this guy if you control a Galaxy or Photon monster, and then you can target a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon in the graveyard, reduce this guy to 1800 attack, and then special summon that Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon back in defense mode. From there, running 2 Galaxy Brave. So Galaxy Brave, you can reveal a Photon monster in the hand, special summon this card from your hand, and its level becomes the level of the revealed Photon monster, and then it can gain the attack of a Galaxy card in the graveyard. It's a really bizarre card, but it grants you extra extension in the form of special summoning from your hand, which is, useful. From there, we're running 2 Photon Advancer. So Photon Advancer is basically just a bit of extension. You can special summon it if there's another Photon monster on the field, and it gains 1000 attack when it does that, so it becomes 2000, which is kind of like your cut-off point. From there, running 2 Galaxy Wizard. So Galaxy Wizard can increase his level to level 8, or he can tribute himself to add a Galaxy card from the deck to hand. So that's the monsters and the spells, which is really useful. From there, running 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, which I think has been rising in popularity recently, with the Numerons and all sorts of other stuff. And then 2 Effect Veiler. So I've chosen a few hand traps and the light ones, just so that worst case scenario, you can discard it for the Galaxy Soldier. Okay, so flying out into the spells, we've got 3 Photon Sanctuary, my scrubby commons. I really need to upgrade these I think these are one of the decks where you could actually hold them out, which is always fun. The Photon Sanctuary, special summon 2 Photon tokens. They've got 2000 attack, and they've got to be in defense position. And can't be used for synchro summoning. And you can also only summon light monsters the turn you activate this effect, but I think all of our extra deck, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure all of our extra decks are light, and most of, I think all of the monsters in the main deck are also light as well, so it's really not an inhibition. From there, running a bunch of other kind of like 2-ofs and stuff, but again, these can all be searched by various cards in the deck, so running 3 is not exactly super needed. 2 Galaxy Expedition, so if you control level 5, you can special summon level 5 from the deck, which is obviously just great. And then we've got 2 Galaxy Trance, which is an unreally good card. I really like Galaxy Trance. So pay 2000, target Photon monster in your graveyard, special summon that as well as a Galaxy monster from your deck with the same level. Their effects negate and their attack becomes 2000, something like that. Again, that's not super relevant because you'll be basically using them immediately for XYZ materials or for link fodder. You can only normal summon Galaxy or Photon cards the turn you activate the effect, so if you were desperate to summon the Effect Veiler or Ghost Ogre, you can't do that with this card, so you got to watch out, And then we're running a couple of one-offs, so I'm running Galaxy Zero, which is kind of like a searchable Monster Reborn. It can't attack, it can't activate its effects, and if it would be destroyed, you can send this card to the graveyard and reduce the attack to 0. So it's a strange card, Galaxy Zero. And then we're running the 1 Accellight, which I think, I don't know, it definitely could be caught, because I used to run a lot more of it and they've slowly been chipping away down, but basically, if you control no monster, summon 1 level 4 or lower Galaxy or Photon monster from your deck, but you can't normal summon or set the turn you activate this effect, which is the real downside. I mean, if it was, basically like a quick launch for rockets if it wasn't that, but it's just shy of being really good. From there, I'm only running 2 Call by the Graves actually, which I think if I was to probably cut something like the Accellight, I'd probably replace it with another Call by the Grave. Not that these guys are that bad for hand trapping, just because you end up being able to push through quite a lot of the time. From there, running some some draw cards, should I say, just for digging into your deck. So we're running 2 trade-ins. So trade-ins got a lot of targets in the deck, but I still don't really think it's worth running the 3rd. I have run the 3rd in prior builds. I've just kind of cut it down, and then I'm running the 1 Upstart Goblin, 39 card consistency. And then we're running 2 generic cards, so we're running the 1 Monster Reborn, just for, the classic recovery / extension, and then the 1 Reinforcement of the Army, because Vanisher, well, a lot of the Photon cards are warriors apart from the Orbital. Okay, so into the extra deck. So you're going to have to bear with me on these because they've got a lot of flipping text on a lot of these cards. So we've got a couple of Starliege cards, so Photon Blast Dragon, 2 level 4s, if it's XYZ summon you can special summon Galaxy Eyes, Photon Dragon from your hand. Your opponent cannot target monsters with 2000 or more attack with card effects and they can't be destroyed by battle. And during your opponent's turn you can special summon Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your graveyard or from your banish, which again doesn't come up that often, but the protection's quite useful and special summon from hand's obviously really useful. Galaxion is kind of like your safety net, from being honest, so you can attach either 1 or 2 materials from it and either special summon Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your hand just for 1 material, from the deck for 2 materials. So I think the only time you really go to this guy is if something's gone wrong and you need to get out that Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. From there, I'm running 1 Constellar Pleiades, which again doesn't come up that often, but 2 Galaxy Soldiers will make Pleiades. Normally you're going to Cyber Dragon Nova and then to Cyber Dragon Infinity. Obviously Nova can't use any of its effects, basically it's just the stepping stone, but Infinity is such a good boss monster and removal, it's really good. From there we're into our rank 8s, so I'm running 2 number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, so this guy's got a monstrous amount of text on him. He can't be destroyed if he's got a Photon as a material. You can detach to negate a monster effect, but if that monster that you detached is a Galaxy card, then you also destroy that card. And then during your opponent's turn, you can search a Galaxy or Photon card, which is really good, and either keep it in your hand or you can attach it to him as a material. So he's a phenomenal card and a really good boss. The only slight downside to him, I think, is that he's only got 2/5 attack. I can kind of see where they're going with it, but the inverse of the traditional monster, but it's still like, you'd just be better if you have 3000 attack. So then this wall of text is number 62, Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. So he's got a bunch of stuff which doesn't really come up that often, but basically he can make himself an absolute monstrous amount of attack by detaching and then increasing his attack by 200 times the ranks of every single XYZ monster on board. So even himself becomes a 5600 monster, which is absolutely huge. If he's destroyed while he's got the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as a material, he can special summon him back 2 turns after, by which point your opponent will have packed up and gone home, because obviously duels just don't last that long. And if he doesn't have the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as a material, all the battle damage done by him is halved. And then we've got the kind of stepping stones above that. We've got the Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, which can be special summoned or XYZ summoned using the Galaxy Eyes, which is normally this. He's got some equip nonsense where he can attach equips as materials to himself, but his main thing is that he detaches 1 to pop a face-up card on the field. From there we're running 1 Hope Harbinger, Titanic Galactic Dragon, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Still not really quite wrapped my head around the name. But yeah, obviously he's really good. Negate an attached spell, and he can also redirect battle attacks, so not that these guys really need it that much, just because most of them are absolute chonking monsters. And then the step up from Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon is Galaxy Eyes Cipher Blade Dragon, which the Cipher archetype had a fleeting go at being relevant, but just never quite managed it. But this card is actually legit, so he can go on top of any rank 8 Galaxy Eyes, and he can detach to pop just any card, so it doesn't have to be face up. So with clever arrangement of these two, you can kind of get rid of everything you might need to. He's also got a destruction effect that never comes up. From there we're into our links, so we're running 2 Galaxy Eyes Solflare Dragon. This card is really given new life to the Galaxy deck and the strategy. So 2 light monsters with one of them at least having a 2000 attack is the kind of criteria which, you know, like your tokens and all sorts of stuff meet. When you special summon, you can add a card from your graveyard with which is Galaxy or a Photon, which obviously is really good for kind of keeping your hand advantage. And then you can discard a Photon and a Galaxy card, or the old school Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon to pop a special summon monster your opponent controls. And from there we're running the 1 Union Carrier, which can kind of equip Photon Orbital from the deck, which is really solid. And then the 1 Bujinki link, which when it's special summoned, you can special summon a monster from your hand and from the graveyard with the same level and an XYZ with them. And then if a XYZ monster activates its effect while this is pointing to it, it can pop a spell or trap, which doesn't really come up that often, but the special summon effect is really quite useful. So, all in all, Galaxy Photon have that magic combination of not being reliant on the normal summon and can build a board. You know, their outgoing board can be a couple of negates and then a special summon disruption, a special summon pop from the Solflare, which can be really solid. But it can also OTK through a board just by the sheer huge damage that you can put on board and the large number of monsters that can pop opponents' cards. I think they're an actually tragically underrated deck, really. So for relevance, I'm going to give them a 4 out of 5 slugs. In terms of fun, they've got those non-linear combos and board building that I really enjoy, but also have 4K chonking dragons. So it's another 4 out of 5 for me. However, the price is a little bit galactic. Mostly because some of the cards that have been printed here just come from silly sets. So I've estimated the cost to be around $360 from TCG Player. So what do you think? Are Galaxy Photons a black hole of your money or a shining star of a deck? Let me know and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh deck profiles.